What's up, guys? Welcome back to this channel. This is Dr. Munya and I'm on a site inspection, one of our jobs. Actually, this job we did it this is one of those jobs that I brought you here when we were pouring concrete. So we were doing a concrete pour on this particular job just a few weeks ago, and I said I'll come back and show you when the framing is done. And so here we are. Today we had a certain meeting, just discussing a couple of things that are going on. And in this video I am just going to talk about I'm going to take you around and see how the framing is done, and what they've done, and I'm going to point out a couple of unique features in terms of how they've done the framing. And then we'll conclude with a few bits and pieces of what to look for. So remember the last time they were pouring concrete, they finished that, the concrete is cured nicely. Just want to show you something here. So that is your slab, and what they've done, the slab is rebetted. You see the framing, the timber framing is up on that bit, and then there's a rebate there. This particular rebate, this is for the brick cladding. So the brick cladding is going to sit on that rebate, and of course that is the waterproofing membrane on the other side, at the edge there. The other thing you're gonna see is that now the spaces are a bit more defined. So with this house, the access is actually on the other side, like we talked about, but I'm just gonna go through here so I can take you through the internal spaces. So one thing you've noted is the rebate on the concrete. So they've clearly covered the concrete. Well, this builder is quite good. They seem to know, they are quite an experienced builder, so they're doing quite a good job of it. So this here is going to be your little lounge, and then in that corner that's going to be your kitchen, and that is the entry. That's the main entry to this particular unit, and that will be the access. So along here we'll get we'll put some paving to bring the to get access to the building. And then so you come in like this, and then go this way. This is your bathroom. So shower, basin, no, that's the shower, basin and toilet over here. And then this will be a sliding door, pocket door. And then I've got this here is the study or home office. It's nice and little. And then this here is your laundry space, but we're gonna change that into, we're gonna take the laundry into the kitchen, so that we can have more space in this room. That's what we discussed, some of the things we discussed today. And then this here is your hot water cylinder space, and this is the main bedroom, and that's gonna be the wardrobe right there. So main bedroom. So basically this is the walling. So this is your timber walls, the framing. Normally we do the framing. I wanted, for my Kenyan audience, I want to explain something about this framing. So this is called a timber stud, right? It forms part of the framing. So these timber studs, they are put together about 600 wide. So between this one and this one has to be 600 wide. This here is the opening for the window. So this one right there, if I zoom out, that's gonna be your window. And then when you do a window, so you've got this stud and that stud, these are 600 apart, but then you have this member here, this is your trimming stud, right? So it also has to go, it has to go up to the lintel. So this lintel, that's your lintel there. So it's this should be two of them. These two pieces of timber, that one is 945 by 145, and that one is also 45 by 145. So the two of them make 90 by 145 lintel. That's why we calculated the lintel for that, for this particular window to be. And then that one, so it's that's sort of, that's your trimming stud. So the lintel, thank you. So the lintel carries the weight of the roof and then transfers it down to the slab and then to the ground. That's the purpose of that lintel. And you can see after where there's an opening, there's always a lintel. You know, whenever we have a window opening or a door opening, we have to create a lintel. So that member there is a lintel. And then it's gotta sip a little bit of water. So your studs on any typical wall, actually this is a nice typical wall because we don't have an opening there. So on your typical wall, the studs will be laid 600 apart, okay, depending on the height, and the height is about 2.42 meters. So that's your standard height. You can go up. I mean, you can go more than 2.4, you can go 2.7. I know school classrooms, we normally do 2.7 stud heights, and some houses you can go 2.7 or 3 meters high. It just depends on what height you want. And then to stiffen the studs, we have these members here called noggings. So these ones are noggings, and you normally put them about 800 apart, 800 centers. So noggings. So your whole wall frame consists of vertical studs and horizontal noggings that reinforce the studs. And then up top, you get your what we call a toplet. So this is a toplet, and then you have here I designed a double toplet, just so that we can have more stiffening and we can have a bit something for the ceiling to hold on to. So sometimes some people do single toplet, but normally it's always advisable to do a double toplet. And that double toplet here, this one I think is 145 by 35, which is your standard size. And then to join your wall to the floor, we have this member here. This is called a bottom plate. So the bottom plate is one that is bolted onto the slab. Now I want you to notice something here. You see those blue Parkers? These blue Parkers. There is one here, but then you have these blue Parkers underneath the bottom plate, touching the slab. And then in between this bottom plate and the slab, there's a gap. That gap is about 10 millimeters. So normally in standard construction, and you can see throughout this whole framing stuff, you can see those blue Parkers all through, you know, showing that the framing is raised about 10 millimeters off. 10 millimeters off the floor. Now in standard construction, normally when you have concrete, when you have concrete intersecting with timber, you need to have some DPC between concrete and timber. But nowadays, what they do is that we prefer not to put DPC, but we put that gap there. So your framing comes with those blue Parkers that are 10 millimeter thick, and then they raise your framing 10 millimeters above the slab. And then what happens then, you might ask, to that gap between the timber framing and the concrete. What happens is that they will later come on and then put foam. So they will spray foam that gap there with a waterproof foam, right? So what will happen is that in this gap here, the builder, especially for these external walls, this 10 millimeter gap here, the builder will come and then they will spray it with foam, very thick foam. And where there's a firewall, like along this wall, we're going to have a firewall, so they're going to do more framing here. This framing is gonna come all the way around here, like that, and then like that, and then like that. They also raise it like that, but then we'll spray with a fire seal foam. And then even for the internal walls, so for the external walls, you can spray with the foam just to prevent the draft from coming through. And then of course your jib will go all the way down, and then you have your skirting later on. And then of course the next thing they're going to do, once they cover this with the a polythene to prevent elements from going in, then they will put the cladding, and then they will put the insulation. But with the internal walls, you can also either choose to spray foam between the timber and the concrete, or you can just choose to leave them like that. See, and like I said, with internal walls, normally some people don't insulate them. We just come and cover all that, line it all out with jib. And then some of these walls here, I think the other thing I noticed, I want to talk about is some of these walls here are bracing walls, so they will have a special kind of jib to brace. Now you want to contrast this with the other inspection that we just did in the earlier video, where we had to consider fire ceilings and stuff. With this one, we're not gonna have a fire rated ceiling, because this is just we don't have a unit on top of this. This is just single story, so we don't need to insulate. You don't need to fire rate the ceiling. This one, the only we need to consider is having a firewall over there, and then this one here is we're gonna have a fire door here, and that's going to be the outdoor space for this unit. So basically, these are some of the things that we sort of caught up on this site. The work is going on pretty okay. The builders, at the moment, I think the builders have just broken off for Christmas and stuff, but we'll be back here maybe in another week or so after Christmas to continue with this construction. And like I said, I'll be taking you guys through every stage of it so that you know what's going on. So this here, this is a safety net. Whenever you're doing construction, you must have your safety nets, just so that if somebody happens to fall down or trip and fall, then the net can catch them, and the damage or injury is minimized. So the builder has bought the trusses over there. I think after Christmas we are gonna come and start doing the trusses. I'll come back and video that anyway. But yeah, this one is taking shape, guys. This one is taking shape, and just happy that it's all coming together nicely this side of Christmas. Yeah, this is just one of those small jobs that we are working with. Entry door here, all this of course is going to be landscaped, and you have your scaffolding all nice and sorted as well. It's all been hemmed in, so when guys are working up there, we've got to put the scaffolding, and you've got to have to protect it using the polythene. You can see the way it's been enveloped all around, the white polythene there over the scaffolding, just making sure that your construction site is safe from injury. You know, health and safety is really key. It's really very important here when we are doing this construction construction works. So guys, that's gonna be all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna be ending this video here. Comment down below if you have any questions, and if you want me to talk about anything else. I normally just talk about the work that I'm doing out here in Aotearoa, the design and construction bit of it, point out a few differences between construction here in New Zealand and construction in Kenya, and yeah, hopefully someone gets educated, someone gets to know the difference, and appreciate that. So I'll be ending the video here, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah. So guys, that is taking shape. That is how we basically just envelop the building. So it's really starting to sort of come together finally, and see how it's going to look like. The thing is that it looks exactly the way it was designed, you know, so it's very minimal variations here. All right guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.